5-minute tax guides from your 5-minute tax guy. Where do I get tax help? One of the biggest problems that individuals have at tax time each year is finding out where they can go to get answers to their tax questions. On the next screen, you'll see some common questions asked by taxpayers. These are some common questions that taxpayers ask. In this video, we'll cover the topic, who should I hire to prepare my tax return? Maybe the first question we should ask is, should I hire someone to do my tax return? It will come as no surprise that being the 5-minute tax guy and a professional tax preparer, that my answer to that question is almost always. When the AC unit in your house breaks down, do you tackle a job yourself or do you call the 5-minute AC guy to do it for you? No, we don't like paying that hefty repair bill, but when the job's done and we're enjoying the comfort of cool air in the summer and warm air in the winter, then life is a bowl of cherries. One nice thing about preparing your tax return yourself is that it can be free. Let me reiterate, it can be free. But what if you make a mistake and it ends up costing you hundreds in penalties and interest? Or even worse, what if you miss that big credit or deduction and your refund takes a hit of thousands of dollars? The fact is that the majority of Americans opt to hire an accountant or other tax professional to prepare their tax returns, and there's a good reason for that. They want to be sure that it's done right, and they don't want to hear from the IRS after they file. Now that we've decided that you should hire someone to do your return, the question now is, who? Let me start with a disclaimer that I do work for both a CPA and for one of the major tax preparation services. I won't say which one, but I will tell you that I'm no blockhead. Of course, you want to hire someone that you trust, both to be competent and to be ethical and principled. To me, that means doing your research. That can include asking around. Ask your friends, family, co-workers, and yes, even the IRS. The first thing to understand about a professional tax preparer is that they must hold a current PTIN or Preparer Tax Identification Number to be recognized by the IRS as authorized to prepare a tax return for submission to the IRS. And the second thing to understand is that just because a person has a PTIN does not make them a tax return preparer. Or more precisely, I should say, a competent tax return preparer. In my opinion, competency comes with, number one, experience. Ask the preparer how long they have been preparing tax returns. Personally, I would not have anyone do my tax return who has been doing it for less than 2 years. And number two, training. How much training has the preparer completed in the last 12 months? The major tax preparation services provide 30 to 40 hours of training to their new employees and expect that they can prepare tax returns on their own with very little supervision or review. While I'm not saying that you shouldn't go to one of these services to have your return prepared, I do advise that you don't just walk in and take the first preparer who approaches you. Ask how long they've been preparing tax returns. What professional designation did they hold, if any? How much training have they recently completed? Once you find a preparer you trust, then stay with that preparer from year to year. The pitfall that taxpayers need to watch out for is that shady tax return preparer who promises you the biggest refund. The IRS publishes a list of the dirty dozen, which outlines common scams that taxpayers may encounter. These scams peak during filing season as people prepare their returns or hire others to help with their taxes. The vast majority of tax professionals provide honest, high-quality service, but there are some dishonest preparers who set up shop each filing season to perpetrate refund fraud, identity theft, and other scams that hurt taxpayers. That's why unscrupulous preparers who prey on unsuspecting taxpayers with outlandish promises of overly large refunds make the dirty dozen list every year. On the following screens are some steps that you can take to help ensure that your tax return experience doesn't become a nightmare. Ask if the preparer has an IRS Preparer Tax Identification Number, or PTIN. Paid tax return preparers are required to register with the IRS, have a PTIN, and include it on your filed tax return. Inquire whether the tax return preparer has a professional credential, such as enrolled agent, certified public accountant, or attorney, belongs to a professional organization, or attends continuing education classes. Check the preparer's qualifications. Use the IRS directory of federal tax return preparers with credentials and select qualifications. This tool can help you find a tax return preparer with the qualifications that you prefer. Check the preparer's history. Ask the Better Business Bureau about the preparer. Check for disciplinary actions and the license status for credentialed preparers. For CPAs, check with the State Board of Accountancy. For attorneys, check with the State Bar Association. For enrolled agents, go to irs.gov and search for Verify Enrolled Agent Status or check the directory. Ask about fees. Preparers are not allowed to base fees on a percentage of their client's refund. Also avoid those who boast bigger refunds than their competition. Make sure that your refund goes directly to you, never into your preparer's bank account. Ask to e-file your return. Make sure your preparer offers IRS e-file. Paid preparers who do taxes for more than 10 clients are required to offer electronic filing. And most important of all, don't be a victim of ghost preparers. According to the IRS, a ghost preparer is paid to prepare a tax return but does not sign it, either electronically or on paper, as the paid preparer. These phantom preparers who won't put their name on the tax return are warning signs for taxpayers of a potential scam. The ghost preparer will either print the paper return and tells the client to sign and mail it to the IRS, or for electronically filed returns, they will prepare it but won't digitally sign it as the paid preparer. By doing so, the tax return appears to be self-prepared, with no indication that a paid tax preparer was used in completing the tax return, helping keep the return preparer under the radar. To summarize, choose a tax preparer that you know and trust. Check their credentials. Make sure that they hold a current preparer identification number and that they offer e-filing as a filing option with the preparer's name on the return as the paid preparer. And as a final word of warning, don't go to this guy. That's it for this session, and thanks for watching the video. Be sure to click the subscribe button on the next screen to keep informed on upcoming tax changes. For more great 5-minute tax guides, check out the other videos in my 5-minute tax guide video series. See the list in the description below this video.